his writings within the Book of Anger, the Dark Lord of the Sith Darth Sidious wrote that above all, anger was the key to power, and when it grew into rage, it was unstoppable. Understanding this, Sidious dedicated himself to learning how to channel his anger and the dark side into a destructive power that would be immense, allowing him to destroy his enemies by becoming more powerful than the Death Star itself. Ultimately, Sidious would learn how to channel his rage and anger, thereby manifesting one of the most powerful force techniques known to the Sith, allowing him to annihilate entire fleets and planets. In this video expose, I'll explain the force ability known as Force Storm, which allowed Darth Sidious to become more powerful than the Death Star. Within the Book of Anger, Sidious wrote that at its eye, a Force Storm could consume everything it touches through its churning mass of energy. As the ultimate expression of pure hate, Sidious understood that such an ability would take decades to master. But since it would allow him to become invincible, he undertook the path of learning the ability of how to create a Force Storm. Before he could learn this powerful ability, Sidious had to perfect another devastating force technique known as Force Maelstrom. Although it wasn't nearly as destructive as a Force Storm, Force Maelstrom was considered to be a stepping stone to achieving mastery over his desired end goal of creating an energy mass of pure hate. Nonetheless, Force Maelstrom was a hard ability to learn as well, as it required a Force user to master a combination of Force powers. First, the user would form a Force bubble to create an invulnerable energy sphere around themselves to block all incoming attacks. Then, through telekinesis, the user would bombard their enemy with any loose objects around them. And finally, the user would devastate their enemy by blasting them with a powerful surge of Force lightning. Although this was an extremely difficult ability, with few Force users having truly mastered it, Sidious mastered the ability of Force Maelstrom by the time of his writing the Book of Anger. Thus, using Force Maelstrom as a stepping stone, Sidious would then dedicate himself to learning the ability of Force Storm. 6 years after his first death at the Battle of Endor, the reborn Sidious was finally able to develop the ability for himself. Again, the creation of a Force Storm was one of the most powerful known Force abilities that existed. By concentrating on his anger and hatred, the Dark Lord of the Sith could manifest a storm of pure dark side power. These violent manifestations of the dark side, which could appear up to 1 kilometer in diameter, were capable of devastating the surfaces of entire planets and violently altering the fabric of space-time. Because of its space-time altering abilities, these Force Storms could also be utilized to open dimension-altering rifts within the universe, thereby transporting matter across the galaxy at great speeds. However, given the amount of energy involved and the difficulty of mastering such an ability, there was a significant amount of danger in generating a Force Storm, and ultimately, it would be the reborn Sidious's undoing. Having been defeated by Luke in a lightsaber duel, Sidious attempted to use his rage to manifest a storm that was extremely powerful. Although this storm was able to decimate the New Republic fleet, protecting their command base on Pinnacle Moon, Luke and Leia were able to use the light side of the Force against Sidious before the storm reached the moon itself. Having been momentarily cut off from his hatred and rage, Sidious was unable to control the Force Storm he conjured, and was ultimately consumed by it before it dissipated. So there we have it! The Force ability that allowed Darth Sidious to become more powerful than the Death Star. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. Or perhaps follow us on Twitter @SW Reading Club for updates regarding the channel. Or support the channel through Patreon for access to exclusive hangouts and book discussions. If not for me, for kind of achieving unlimited power.